Welcome to PushMowerRepair.com. Today we're going to show you how to replace the air filter tubing in a Victa lawnmower. In doing this we'll also cover a little bit of how the throttle works. Here are the tools that you'll need for this video. You'll need a flathead screwdriver, a Phillips head screwdriver and your replacement tubing. In this video we'll probably use about 750 ml of that tubing. Alright, so this is the lawnmower we're working on today. In order for us to get started we need to remove the 3 screws that are holding this top cover in place with the Phillips head screwdriver. I've already done that, so we can just lift that up. Remember to turn off the fuel tap and unplug fuel from the carburetor. This mower's also got these plastic covers we need to remove as well. Once that's off, what you want to do is remove the carburetor. So just twist it up and pull it back. We need to remove the carburetor because the throttle on the Victa lawnmower attaches inside here. So in order for us to take this cover off, we need to unplug the throttle cable and disconnect it all. We need to take this top cover off the carburetor. We're going to do that with a flathead screwdriver. Just insert it in this gap here and give it a twist. It's probably the easiest way to remove that cover. Be careful that you don't lose any of these parts. If you need any help disassembling or reassembling the Victa G4 carburetor, we do have another video that shows you how to do that. So we'll link to that video for you in case you have any questions. I'm just going to do this really quickly. Okay, so now that we've removed some of those parts from the carburetor, just remove that piece there. Hopefully it's clear in the video. There's a gold ball just here connected to this remaining plastic piece. Now that gold ball there controls the throttle. So if I move that up and down on the handle, you can see it moves this plastic piece. Now this can be a little bit tricky to disconnect. I've found the easiest way to do it is pull the throttle into the stop position, so that's closest to the hole where it comes out of. Then get a screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, and push down on the metal wire, and it should, yep, there we go. See the balls pressed down outside of that plastic piece now. Then we can undo this clip on the hose, pull the cable up and then down, and that's all disconnected from the carburetor. Now that we've done that, it's just a matter of pulling the plastic hosing away from here. Now if you look up towards where the throttle is, all we need to do again is just pull down on that hosing and it will come out like so. Then just thread it out, thread the throttle cable out of the hosing. The hosing is all removed and ready to put a new one on. So the hosing on the lawnmower that we're working on is not too bad, so I'm just going to film a couple of others so you can get an idea of what might go wrong. Here you can see it's not too serious, but there is an indentation in the hosing. In this hosing you can see that there are cracks and holes in it. Whilst these that I've just showed you aren't too serious, they can lead to greater problems. For instance, once this starts to crack, it could become bigger, so it's often a good idea to replace them. In order to replace with the new tubing, you just need to thread the throttle cable through everything once again. So grab that cable, thread it through the hosing, and just push this hosing back up into the throttle housing up here. Make sure it's nice and firm. Then once we've done that, grab this other piece that we took off earlier. Remember one end did have the clamp on it, so make sure that this end with the clamp is closest to the carburetor. You'll notice that there is a wider end, and that's where the hosing plugs into. So just thread the throttle cable through there. May need a bit of persuasion. Make sure that it comes out the other end. Shouldn't have any problems with that. And then once that's in place, push the hosing down again. Push it firmly so that's secure. Then we need to get this end of the throttle cable back into the carburetor. In order to show you how to do that, I'm going to remove this plastic piece from the carburetor. So it sits there like that. If you have a look, there's a groove on this edge. Now what happens is when the throttle cable goes in, the ball sits in here, and when it goes into the on position, so if I move that, you'll see the cable extend. This pushes back and the wire sits in this groove. So it moves from here back to here. So for us to connect everything back up again, it's easier to have the throttle in the run position so that it's as long as possible. This plastic piece will sit in the carburetor like this. Make sure that this hole that the ball of the throttle cable sits in is as close to the hole where the cable inserts as possible. So just place that in there. I'll show you this. On the bottom there is a small groove where the cable has to slot in. Make sure that that's lined up when you're doing this. So if it's not lined up, just turn it until it's in the right spot. There you go. So you can see the ball's sitting in place. Just twist it around. Make sure everything's working properly. Now, on this plastic piece here, there are grooves which suit the metal piece on the end of the throttle cable. Just push that forward as far as possible and then bring it back down, and it'll sit in place and hold the throttle cable in its correct position. Once that's ready, just pull this hose over the top to cover everything. Move the clamp up if you've undone it before, and then we just have to reassemble the carburetor. Again, if you need help to do this, then head to our other video, which we'll provide a link for, and that has more detail on a Victa G4 carburetor. New throttle hosing is all installed, and that's it.